Huge night of racing coming up at MGM Northfield Park on Saturday, June the 10th, as they present the $200,000 Battle of Lake Erie. And quite frankly, this is a 15 race card, and this is certainly the best race on the card because it's wide open, Matt.
Oh yeah, well obviously this is the feature race of the night, and this is a fully stacked field from top to bottom. I believe Director of Racing Dave Bianconi said it might be the deepest field from top to bottom he's ever assembled for a battle race. And I mean, it is a great field. You can legitimately make a case for all 9 horses, depending on the way the race plays out. And there are no standouts. We have a morning line favorite in Ruthless Hanover, who, I'll go along with that. And I guess if you have to say a field is led by so and so, it will be Ruthless Hanover. But we have no standouts really in this age pacing division, so far this year. So I say going into this race is a crapshoot, and it'll be interesting to see, who kind of steps up and who separates themselves, from the rest of the pack going forward. But it all starts here with the battle.
Well, it's race number 11 on the card. We're going to do a rundown of the field, and then we'll give out our picks. Number 1 is Leonidas, and obviously he's no stranger to the half-mile track. He's done quite well over at Yonkers. The last time he was here at Northfield last year, he got a little bit unlucky with the circumstances. He should be in play here for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how hard he can leave, but compared to other horses in this field, but obviously drawing the rail on any half-mile track is an advantage. Maybe less so at Northfield, but Siegel will definitely be firing and cutting the corner in the first turn, trying to protect position, as you have to assume that Ruthless Hanover and others, will be trying to cross over. That should be very interesting, obviously, in the first turn. And listen, Leonidas, we saw in the Borgata final, had some traffic issues. When he shook free, he was flying home. So, we know the talent is there. He has not won in a while, but we know he does fit with this upper echelon of horses. And despite not having a win in recent times throughout the last few starts in the overnight races at Yonkers, and he's been in shape. He's been right there, and he's definitely in with a shot here.
Number 2 is Little Rocket Man's second choice on the morning line. And I went back and obviously he's on a nice winning streak here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight races in a row. He's been at Northfield twice prior to that, both in 2021. He had the 2-hole in this exact race in 2021, got away 5th. Earlier that year, he got away 6th. I think he had the 5-hole or the 6-hole. He got away slow. I don't get the impression that he's going to be as close to the pace as maybe his past performances indicate.
Yeah, well, the race where he was in the battle a couple of years ago, that was when This Is the Plan, when 47 and 3, I believe, was the mark he went over the half. And yeah, he never really got involved, but I have to believe this is a stronger, more mature Little Rocket Man, and he just has a tremendous record. I mean, 45 for 81 lifetime, over $800,000, pretty much grinded out because he's never really been a stakes or Grand Circuit type horse. And yeah, you know what? The 2 posts is a little tricky, especially when you have a trailer in the race and we have a 9-horse field, because the hole could be closed up quickly on the rail, and all of a sudden it's almost like musical chairs where the horse coming out of the 2-hole can kind of be shut out of a tuck. So it is a little tricky, especially if he's not able to cross over the 1, and then horses the outside cross over. He might be left in like no man's land a little bit, and either have to take back and settle like 5th or 6th, or just be out the mile. And I have a feeling he may be out the mile, to be honest with you. And that might not be the worst thing in the world, because it'll guarantee that he won't be stuck in any traffic or boxed in. And he's obviously good enough and sharp enough where I think he'll be able to grind a long way. So as long as he doesn't get fouled up by the start and the first turn, I think he'll be okay here, transitioning back to the half-mile track.
Number 3 is Backstreet Shadow. He was like the hot horse coming into the Borgata final. Unfortunately, he drew post 8, and that kind of took him out of contention. Qualified back really sharp. Why can't this horse come back with a big effort here? He was so good at Yonkers.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen him plenty of times at Northfield. Back when he was in the Burke barn, and he's now in the Travis Alexander barn. He really hasn't. He really hasn't skipped the beat. The only thing I've really noticed different about him is he's not much of a. He hasn't been showing that early gate speed that he always used to display. He's kind of more of a closing type, but it's worked to his advantage. And yeah, I mean, we saw those wicked closing efforts throughout the Borgata, and then, like you said, he had the 8 hole. So just unfortunate circumstances. Back after a freshening, we know he's as fast and talented as the rest of these. Macakeli comes over back to Ohio and to keep the drive in Backstreet Shadow, and yeah, another contender. And I hate to state the obvious, but it will come down to trip.
Lochinvar Art and Ruthless Hanover both come out of the Joe Auger Memorial, which Ruthless Hanover won. We're going to take a look at a clip of that victory. And one of the things that's going to be interesting here is Ruthless Hanover has never been over a half-mile track before. This is his first time. And the second thing is he's certainly leaving. Once he goes to the top, I don't see any way he's yielding to anyone. So it could make for a very interesting race.
Oh, yeah. I mean, without a doubt, there's only one absolute certainty in this race, and that is that the Ruthless Hanover is firing off the gate with George Napolitano making I believe his first appearance ever at Northfield, which is kind of hard to believe considering how long he's been around. But getting back to Lochinvar Arts, the Shane Tritton trainee with Lauren Tritton that's been driving him. We know how talented this horse is. Another one that hasn't really picked up a win recently. He's been battling in the overnights, and we saw him in the Borgata. He picked up a check in the Borgata final out of the 7 hole, much like Backstreet Shadow had no chance. I mean, just an unlucky draw. But he had a couple of legs in the Borgata where you thought he was going to take the next step and be even stronger and better, and he kind of didn't. And I think this is also a tough spot because if Lauren Tritton tries to leave the gate, I don't think she can. I don't think Lochinvar can outleave Ruthless Hanover. And does Lochinvar get looped out off the gates? I think it's a strong possibility. And if he does, maybe another horse that's kind of caught in no man's land if he gets looped off the gate, because I don't think he can outsprint Ruthless Hanover to his outside. And so if he doesn't go forward off the gate, he's getting away 6th, 7th maybe, because we have the trailer and we have perhaps horses to his outside Ruthless Hanover also try to leave for a spot. So I think it's just a tough spot for Lochinvar. Obviously, if things go perfectly, yeah. But I think it's a tough spot.
Number 6 is Covered Bridge, and we'll also cover the 9. This is the plan at the same time because these two are both coming out of the Camelot Classic, and we're going to take a look at that video where Covered Bridge gets a pretty nice trip on cover and kind of nails This Is the Plan, who's the track record holder at Northfield.
Yeah, This Is the Plan definitely does not need any introduction. We've seen plenty of him, and while he's not what he once was, he's still a force. Covered Bridge, who I'll be honest, over the last couple of years, he kind of flew under my radar and really stepped up in the Borgata series at Yonkers. And I know we keep mentioning horses out of Borgata, but hey, it's a lot of half-mile racing, so it really does apply here. And Covered Bridge ended up uncovered and had to go a hard first over trip in the Borgata final, and it kind of took its toll late. He finished 3rd. Followed it up with 2 wins at the open level and then the win in the Camelot of Western Fair. Tyler Buter comes over to pick up the drive with Jordan Stratton. I believe he's up at Mohawk. But Tyler Buter drove this horse plenty of times throughout the Borgata, and I like this guy a lot. I really think that although he's not a strong lever, he'll be out early and moving, and he might be the one that picks up a live cover trip behind a Little Rocket Man or a Backstreet Shadow or one of those types. And depending on how fast or how used Ruthless Hanover is, I think he might be the freshest one late. I think he's got a big shot in here.
perhaps the two longest shots on the board are going to be I Did It My Way and Charlie May. I Did It My Way has been pretty darn sharp over at Oak Grove, and it's going to be interesting to see how he does on a half-mile track. Charlie May is, quite proficient on the half-mile track. He got a win here last year, 2 wins the year before over this track. He raced his second start of the year last time at Scioto, and we're going to take a look at that replay where he was first over, and while he lost by a neck, it was a pretty brave effort.
And considering this is only his second start of the year, yeah, I mean, this is what this guy has done for a long time. He's been able to grind and hold late, even though it doesn't result necessarily in a win. And we've seen that plenty of times at Northfield, but unfortunately, somebody has to draw the 8-hole, I guess, in this race. And unfortunately, it's for his connections, it's Charlie May. And I just, as talented as he is, I don't see him getting close to being involved. I mean, how could he possibly improve position off the gate, leaving the gate? I can't see that, which means he may be relegated to last. I can see Brett Miller not just, settling back last and maybe moving early, to get the flow started or something, but where he's going to end up, fourth over, something like that. I just don't see a way he gets involved, unfortunately. And you mentioned this is the plan, who obviously needs no introduction, second tier start. And I guess if any driver in this race has the most experience with navigating the second tier in Northfield, it's Ronnie Wren Jr. Obviously one of the top guns at Northfield, him and Aaron Merriman, year in and year out. So if anyone knows how to negotiate the second tier, it's going to be him. And another one that he's got to get away smoothly, and he's got to get out and moving, or else he's going to get buried and shuffled back. But I'll leave it to Ronnie Wren to work out the strategy, whether he wants to follow Leonidas from the rail quickly or take back and try to intentionally get away fifth, sixth, seventh, something like that, so he can be out moving and not boxed. That'll be interesting. But he's another one. He's already a track record holder and battle winner. And would he be a shock? No, he wouldn't.
Well, we've discussed how basically almost any horse in this race can win. We're going to take a look at our picks here. And for me, I went with the 1 Leonidas. I just really think this is the perfect spot for him, having drawn the inside. I think Austin Siegelman's going to gun out of there as quick as he can. I know he's not known as the fastest horse away, but he has shown plenty of races over at Yonkers where he's gunned out. I think he does that here, tries to work out a nice pocket trip behind Ruthless Hanover, who's clearly going to go with the mission of not yielding to anyone. At least that's what I think he's going to go with that position. I just can't get myself to bet Ruthless Hanover, what I think is going to be about 8-5 or 7-5, somewhere in that range, with a horse that's never been on a half-mile track. Could he win? Yeah, he could win, but I think 9 horses could win, so why should I take the favorite? Leonidas, my top pick. I like Backstreet Shadow as well. I think he gets overlooked a little bit in this field. He was super sharp coming into Borgata. Everyone loved him. He drew post 8, so that went out the window. He qualified back sharply. I think he'll be pretty good in this spot. So if I'm playing a pick 4, and this does start a $25,000 estimated pick 4, I'd go 1-3 in the first leg. Matt, I see you got Covered Bridge. How is he going to get there from third or fourth over?
First of all, I'm going to hope that he's second over somehow, and not. I don't think he's going to be fourth over, but I think he can roll from third over. I think if we're going to assume Ruthless Hanover's on the lead, and yeah, we saw him sizzle on the front end with an open lead down to Philly with that wicked mile. But if he can't shake free here on a loose lead, and he gets pressed and eyeballed, it's a lot different type of front end mission than when you just wing it, with no competition around you, obviously just going as fast as you can. So I'm banking on Ruthless Hanover taking a lot of heat and it becoming kind of like a closer's affair. And I think Covered Bridge can set up second or third over and roll 3 wide like they often do into the flying turns and be fresh as slate and be able to roll by maybe the Little Rocket Man, who I'm going to say is going to be first up and can hold. Ruthless Hanover, it's the only thing we agree on is that we don't like him to win. We like him in the third spot. And this is the plan to round out the added superfecta in this 11th race.
Well, 15 race card. There's also Ohio Sire Stakes action on the card earlier. There's the MGM Buckeye Distaff in race number 13, part of this pick four. That race, I think, has a nice high five pool in there offered. All the action is going to be on drf.com/harness. Just click on the banner for Northfield. It'll be right there at the top, and you can go there and watch all the action. You can watch this video again. You can get free PPs, free harness side PPs. Good luck.